Hello everyone, Sabrina here for another not too shabby video, and today I'm going to be using this new stamp set called Easter Wishes along with the new 6x6 pattern paper pad. This is called Dots for Spring and they are double-sided papers. One side has a slightly larger polka dot and the other side has a smaller polka dot. And I'm going to use these pattern papers to stamp my eggs on. So these 3 eggs came in that Easter Wishes stamp set, and I'm going to choose a rainbow of colors here, and I am stamping on the slightly larger dot size of the paper. And I am going to stamp several of these out. I do plan on making 2 cards in today's video, and then I will have a 3rd card that I am posting on the 28th. So I went ahead and did all of my eggs at once. This saved a lot of time coloring, and they have a cute little polka dot texture if you look at them very closely. And I will end up with 2 eggs per sheet here. And then I think I ended up with 3 extra eggs that I can use on another project. And now I'm going to show you how I color in my bunny and the little Easter basket. So for my first card, I went with a brown bunny, and you'll see my second card, I went with a white bunny. So I'm just going to show you how I colored in the brown bunny, and this is the same colors I used for the card that I'm going to show on Sunday. So yes, the colors that I'm using are E99, E13, and E11, and so I'm starting with my darkest marker, E99, to map out all of my shadow areas. For this bunny, I am coloring as if the light source was coming directly in front of it, so it would have a center highlight. So I am focusing my darker color around the edges of the bunny's face and the ears, and pretty much its entire body. The only extra shadows I add is where 2 parts of the bunny meet. So underneath where the ears are bent, I add a little bit of shadow coming below the bent ear, where the hands meet, where the feet meet. And then I just extend that color with my mid-tone, and then I leave a little bit of white space still showing for my lightest color, which is E11, to blend all 3 colors together. I do like to start with my darkest color because I have a tendency to overblend, and by starting with the darkest marker, you're going to be left with more contrast. So for the bunny's feet, ears, and cheeks, I am using RV13 and RV11. I'm also going to add some of that to one of the eggs that he's holding. I'm just going to be doing 2 color blends from this point forward because the eggs are quite small and these little details are. But this bunny is super cute. Jamie also released a cute little truck stamp set. It is also Easter themed, and it's solid stamps, so you don't have to color with them. So I like that she kind of gave you 2 options to choose from. And it's been a while since I've done a cutesy card, so I really enjoyed creating these little scenes. And Jamie is also going to be releasing a kit on April 7th. I will be a part of that little hop for the release, and it's really cute. I think there's going to be some design team members showing sneak peeks of it. It's another full-size kit, so I think there's 4 stamp sets, 2 paper pads, some ephemera, and stickers. So it's very similar to the Valentine kit that actually sold out. And I think Jamie has something on her website where you can sign up for the kit now to guarantee that you get it. So I'll have a link below if you want to check that out. And she also has a sneak peek of that on her Instagram page if you want to see what the stamps look like from that kit. So for my basket, I went with C4, C2, and C1, and that's the same combination I used for the white bunny that you're going to see in my second card. And here I'm just going over the eyes again with a black fine liner and my white gel pen. I'm also going to add some white gel accents to the eggs just to help them stand out a bit. And then I will off camera fussy cut everything. So for my first card, I want to create a scene with those polka dot pattern papers. I love this paper pad. I'm a fan of very subtle patterns on my cards. So I can see myself using this for a lot of my spring cards. So here I'm just doing some die cutting. I die cut some grass from the green polka dot paper, the sky or like the overall card panel from the blue polka dot paper. And here you can see I cut a circle from pink, but I'm going to end up changing that to yellow so that it kind of looks like a sun. I have a die cut fence that I'm planning on adding behind the grass. And then now I'm just kind of laying out my scene here. I kind of want my bunny to be behind the grass, and I want my basket to be right in the front, as if the bunny's kind of approaching the basket with his hand full of eggs. The stamp set also includes that cute little bee. You can see I added 2 of them to the top. I think I only end up using 1 of them. And then I use some of those pattern paper eggs to put inside the basket and on the outside of it. Those clouds that you see are from a Lawn Fawn stamp set. I just stamped them on white cardstock and die cut them just so that the sky looks more like a sky. I'm going to adhere my fence down flat, and then I'll pop up my grass with foam tape. And then I also have my little bunny on foam tape, so I'm removing the backing here. And I will tuck him behind the grass. I'm adding 1 single egg to the basket, and I'm going to add foam tape where it's going to overlap the fence because that is not popped up. But I'm going to add regular glue to the area that overlaps the grass so that everything is flush. I popped up my 2 eggs that are in front of the basket. I also popped up my sentiment, and I'm going to glue these clouds down flat. And I love that that sentiment kind of looks like the sun. The Easter wishes sentiment does come in the stamp set. And here I am popping up my little bee that I added in front of the bunny. And then I'll tuck in that last little cloud. And then I will adhere this to my A2 card base. So this one's really simple and cute. And I love that instead of using cardstock or using my blender brushes to create a sky and grass, that cute little polka dot paper is perfect because it's not overwhelming at all. So I'm just embellishing this card with a couple Fairy Rock rhinestones by Trinity Stamps, and that is going to complete my first card. So my second card is a shaker. So I have a pink die cut frame. I cut this from the pink polka dot paper. I wanted to try to use as much of the scraps as possible, so I have a pretty small frame here. I'm adding acetate behind it, and if you use art glitter glue for adhering acetate, I recommend that you make sure that it is completely dry before cutting the acetate, or else it will slide and make a mess. So I just put a heavy block on it, and I'm going to work on the panel that's going to be inside the shaker. So I have a slightly smaller stitch rectangle cut from the purple polka dot paper, and I'm going to do the same thing where I add the fence first completely flat, and then I'll also glue the grass flat because this is going to be my shaker. I don't want the shaker bits to get caught underneath. And you can see that I cut my fence in half because I didn't have much of it left. And I knew my bunny was going to go in the center, so it ended up working perfect. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and trim the excess acetate, and then I will add 2 layers of foam tape behind that frame. And I do have to trim it down. I do have Scotch 3M for my thinner shaker windows because it is very easy to just cut with my scissors. And my U-line foam tape is just way too sticky. It completely destroys my scissors, including my non-stick ones. So I just stick with 3M for shakers like this. So for my shaker bits, I have some Trinity Stamp little confetti balls. I don't know what else to call these. They're just pastel little tiny, almost like seed beads, but they're not beads. They're just little balls. And then I also added some iridescent confetti in there. Going to carefully remove my double-sided foam tape, and then I have a white rectangle that's the same size as the frame. I'm going to glue my smaller purple one in the center, and then I will line it up to my shaker window and close that off. And that will complete my shaker. I really like that the colors in the confetti match perfectly with those polka dot pattern papers. So I have my card base here. I thought about using a yellow polka dot panel, but ended up going with the purple so that everything matches. That pink circle, if you remember, I cut for my first card originally, but changed it to the yellow. So I still had this pink circle. I decided to use it, so I stamped out Easter wishes again. And I'm going to add that to the bottom right. And now I'm gluing down my bunny to the center of the shaker window. And then I also added an egg to the left. I adhered part of the sentiment to the frame, and then whatever is overhanging, I'm going to add 2 layers of my U-line foam tape just so that everything is flush. My little bees also have foam tape behind them, so they will be popped up. So behind the rectangle, I'm just going to add my ATG tape. I'm also going to add tape to my other purple panel. And then I can go ahead and glue everything to my card base. So this one was a really simple card to put together. That little bunny is one of the cutest Easter bunnies I have seen in a stamp set. And it was nice to kind of create something more cutesy. I've been doing a lot of more elegant floral cards lately. So this was a nice change. Again, I'm going to embellish this card with these same fairy rock rhinestones, and then that is going to complete this card. If you're watching on the Not Too Shabby channel, I do have a card I'm posting on Sunday. It's a slimline using the same little bunny. So if you want to check that video out, definitely head on over to my channel. I will have a link in the video description. But yeah, that is going to complete today's video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And otherwise, I will see you next time. Bye!